Hello, my lovely community of the Aligned Business Woman. I am on such a high. I've been on such a high all week because I should be coming on a little low because we're about to wrap up the 31 days, almost 30 days of the Boost Your Business Boot Camp. So at the beginning of August, I launched this free boot camp for anyone that wanted to join to participate in either the Instagram chat or the Facebook group chat so they could get little tidbits every single day with some kind of exercise or some kind of prompt to help them shift into um, action, to help them shift into action in their business so that they can be able to work less, but really set the foundation of having solid content. So their marketing message and open up sales conversations with people. And so I'm really excited about everything that we've done inside that group chat. And before I move on to what I want to talk to you about today, which is the power of prioritization that helps you stop second guessing yourself and start growing, I want to kind of tie those two things together and give you a behind the scenes or kind of like a little bit of a history of why I decided to do this Boost Your Biz boot camp and just kind of like the exercises that have been inside that boot camp. And what I've been finding is that in my years of being an entrepreneur, I've experienced this myself. And because I've experienced these things myself, I've been able to see it in other people, is that when it comes to growing our businesses, there are some fears and uncertainty that hold us back from getting the results that we want. And those fears and those uncertainties can have a domino effect and really trickle out into other areas of our life. And so the Boost Your Biz Bootcamp is to serve the women entrepreneurs that are ready to take action, that are ready to get out of their own way and have a clear plan of action. And it's not just about learning, it's about having a healthy balance of learning and implementation. So because I had been seeing this and I recognized some of the things that people were going through, because I've done that, been there, done that. I decided to put this curriculum together and just give everyone a little bit of a taste of what it's like to work with me inside the Profitable CEO Accelerator. And so we may not realize it, but the effects of overwhelm in our business can not only affect us mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, but it also can affect our relationships. And so, as I've made a little list of, and this is just a little list of the effects of overwhelm from our business, it's some of the things that came up were decreased productivity and efficiency, difficulty making decisions, increased stress and anxiety levels. So let me know in the comments if you ever felt any of these things so far as I go through them. Physical symptoms such as headaches, fatigue, insomnia, especially when you're like, stressed about money, you're tossing and turning at night, been there, done that. Lack of motivation, creativity, and poor time management and prioritization skills, negative impact to mental health and well-being, strained relationships with colleagues, friends, family, risk of burnout and exhaustion, reduced quality of work and output. And so as you see, if you ever experience any of those things, it's not just one little area that's impacted when we're overwhelmed or when we're confused, when we lack clarity in our business. It takes on a huge toll on us physically, mentally, and emotionally, which then leaks out into other areas of our life. And so I decided to dig further. Although I already knew these things, but I really wanted to solidify and kind of bring it all together of like, why do we as women entrepreneurs, why do we tend to experience more overwhelm than maybe our male counterparts or just other people? And I'm primarily speaking to women entrepreneurs who are also wives, or maybe they're not wives, but they have children. I'm only speaking to you because we have more responsibilities. I'm not saying that a male entrepreneur doesn't have the same responsibilities as us, especially if they are a father and a husband. But the way our society is, we tend to step into these gender roles or these perceived gender roles, and we assume the position of, well, if I'm the wife and I'm the mom and I'm the entrepreneur, then I'm going to have to learn how to balance both growing my business and then taking care of my family, taking care of myself, taking care of my children, taking care of the household. And so some of the reasons women can experience this overwhelm and confusion, that it's just a big old blob, because we really don't know what starts first. Is it the lack of clarity that leads to overwhelm? Is it confusion? What is it? It's just a big old blob, and we just kind of can't get out of it. And so some of the things that contribute to this is not knowing how to balance work and family responsibilities, feeling the pressure to prove ourselves in a male dominant industry, because in the past, most men, at least predominantly, like we've seen it in more of the spotlight, mostly men are the ones that are entrepreneurs. Now, more and more women are coming out and emerging saying, like, I am a business owner. I want to be a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. And then we tend to have a tendency for striving for perfection in all aspects of our business. So to me, what that means is that we want to be perfect in marketing. We want to be perfect in organization. We want to be a perfect leader. We want to be a perfect, maybe a mentor, depending on your business. We want to be able to wear all of the hats and do it ourselves. Because what we're doing essentially is taking the strategy from our home, maybe always running the home, doing everything ourselves in the home, and bring it into our business. We're like, well, if we're cooking and we're cleaning and we're doing, running the kids everywhere and all the things, well, then it's you do this like automatically. It's a subconscious thing that we do. So we're thinking, okay, if this is a strategy here, if this is what we're doing, if this is our role here at home, I'm going to assume the position here in my business as well. So we try to perfect that. We try to perfect our entrepreneurial skills. We try to perfect, how to sell, market, prospect, all of the things, and even connect and communicate. And so then we tend to, struggle delegating or struggle learning and balancing everything, right? And when we get stuck in that perfectionism, and when we get stuck in feeling like we have to do it all on our own, then we get stuck in, well, if I had to learn to perfect my skills in this area, if I had to learn how to perfect my sales skills, my marketing skills, then we start to look for answers outside of ourselves. We start to second guess, we doubt ourselves, and we spend a lot of time learning and experiencing imposter syndrome. Anytime we feel like it's not perfect yet, we can have we can experience shiny object syndrome when we want to go out and find a new strategy. We don't give the strategy that we're learning enough time. Sometimes we don't even implement it. And so that perpetuates everything. That perpetuates the feelings of overwhelm and confusion, and then the stress, which has a negative impact on our joy, our relationships, our bank account, our ability to grow our business. If you've heard any of my past podcast episodes, or you've heard me speak before, I talk about what stress does on your brain. It affects the gray matter in your frontal lobe, which is responsible for reasoning and logic. So if we are feeling more stressed out, we're unable to tap into creativity, into clarity, into logic and reasoning. And then that just ends up like loading on, and just piling on and piling on until we just implode. We quit. We say, okay, I can't do this. And what I have found too is that in the past, we're coming from a generation or generations of beliefs that in order for you to have success, in order for you to have wealth, you have to work really hard at that, right? I believe that this is another contributor to the whole cycle of looking for answers outside of ourselves, learning, thinking that we had to perfect something, because we think that if it's not hard, if we don't work hard enough for it, then we don't deserve what we want. And then when we do have a situation where things become easy, we say, no way, it cannot be this easy. I'm just being lucky. I just got lucky or something. No way. And so then we go and overcomplicate business. Again, this is just like, I imagine it as like a big pot of water just boiling and boiling and boiling. And so as I was thinking about, what are some characters that are out there, some fictional characters that have experienced this, doing all of the things and do it where it leads to burnout. And one of the things that came up as I was doing my research was that Tony Stark, or Iron Man, it talks about how he was this genius billionaire an inventor and superhero, right? And he's constantly juggling all these responsibilities. And unfortunately, I wanted to find a story about a mom, a woman, but I can totally see how, as women entrepreneurs, we fit this character and this storyline of him juggling, responsibilities of his business, Stark Industries. And then he is the founding member of the Avengers. So he's over there like saving the world and, mentally and physically, both in his business and saving the world, just putting a really big, huge strain on him. Right. And then in Iron Man 3, he struggles with anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder after all the events that happened. Right. And so he's haunted by some kind of near-death experience and struggles to cope with, the constant fear of threats and, all the things that are happening. And, why we may not be a superhero, trying to save the world, we are a superhero to the people in our lives. So our children, maybe even our neighbors, our friends, right? And we try to take on all of these things. And what ends up happening is that the personal life circle and the business life circle, they tend to get closer and closer. And so all of the strategies, all the baggage in both areas, they end up lining up and it just becomes way too much to handle. And I know this also well. I opened up and said, I understand this and I know this because I've experienced it. Because in my story, I like to show my little behind the scenes here, if you will, because I don't think anyone has ever seen these things. And maybe you followed my journey since, my first entrepreneurial taste when I opened up the nutrition club, where it was a fitness club and a smoothie bar, and how that spawned the Women Elevating Women networking group, because I had to really think outside the box of like, no one's coming in to work out in the day. No one's coming in to get a smoothie. How can I utilize this facility that I have? It was a 2,500 square foot facility and I needed to, sell some shakes. I needed to get people in. And so that was the first taste. And that was in 2017 that I opened that up. And then we closed in 2019. I found that I was pregnant. We our lease was up as well. And so it just kind of like all aligned. Sometimes we feel like we're like, I don't want it to go this way. And, it has to be this way. And, we want to control everything, right? Because we want to control everything in our home. We want to control everything in our business. And, it's just really amazing how the way life ended up unraveling. So our lease was up in 2019. I got pregnant in 2019, or, I found out I was pregnant. And so it was like, I wasn't going to be able to run the business by myself. I wasn't going to be able to do all the workouts that I was doing. I was doing like 2 to 3 workouts a day, leading these classes, all the things, right? Sometimes we'd have a workout at 5 a.m. And then I had Oliver in December and COVID hit, a few months later, 3 or 4 months later. And so it just all kind of like worked itself out. And so, anyways, the reason why I'm saying this, if you followed my journey, then you've seen all the things that I've tried. And I want to kind of like talk about that right now. If you are like me, or if you are like how I was, just trying to figure out where is my place here. I want to own my own business. I want to be able to have what people say entrepreneurial or entrepreneurship promises, which is flexibility, freedom for your time, and being able to call your own shots, and all the things, right? Make the money that you want to make, create your own paycheck. And so, you can see here, I was trying to figure out, where is my place? How can I monetize my gifts and talents in between allowing myself to acknowledge those gifts and talents, and really stepping into my confidence and being like, it's okay to say I'm really good at this. And for me to say, okay, I'm really good at this and I can help you with this. And I think you should pay me for this, right? So have you ever experienced like that fear of like, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can ask for a sell. I don't know if I can just, be confident that I have what it takes to help someone. So this is me, really trying to figure out my place and learning all the things as well. I mean, I don't know about you, but in 2020, it was a lot of consumption of courses and programs and all the things. And it was so much consumption and barely any implementation. And when all that information is coming to you, it's really hard to decipher what is for you, what is not, right? It's overwhelming. It's like going to a buffet with all sorts of cuisines, not even a Chinese buffet, right? It's not even a like Cece's Pizza. It's a buffet of so many different things. It's like, where do you start? And you get way too full, right? And so that was, what I was experiencing, until there's a couple of things I discovered, but we won't go into that right now. But what this ended up happening is that I was overwhelmed. I was confused. I had no clarity. And then because I had, no clarity, and I was overwhelmed, and I was doing all the things at once and trying to do this and be there. And, I pride myself on being multi-passionate. And what ended up happening is that I made no money. I wasn't making any money because I was trying to do all the things, right? I spread myself way too thin. And then I also made bad investments. Meaning I would, I remember paying for this lady, and I was still upset about it recently. I remember paying this lady for something because I thought I needed it, right? I was like, I just got so excited about this thing. I was like, I thought I needed it. She never delivered. She, said she was going to give me the things that she never did or anything like that. And so that just kind of perpetuated my confidence. That made me feel like, wow, I am a bad entrepreneur because I couldn't even make savvy decisions in my business. And so all of those just kind of eat at your confidence. And then what ends up happening is that you feel like, I don't know if I want to show up for my business. I don't know if I have what it takes, right? And so, you may have a business right now where you're like, I am making money. It's good. I love what I do, but it's just not good enough, or it's just not enough to support the lifestyle I want. That's when I invite you to go back and go to getting really clear on the way your business affects your personal life, and then getting clear, even more clear, on any kind of mindset things that are holding you back. You may feel like, oh, I'm super confident, I got this, there's nothing holding me back. But sometimes we don't realize what's happening underneath the surface. We don't understand, or we don't realize what's happening at a subconscious level. It's these programmings that we have internally that they're like driving the car, right? They're in the front seat, they're in the driver's seat. So next Wednesday, I am holding a group VIP day, and where we're gonna be starting with what I call the clarity catalyst. And so you have an opportunity to transition from, waking up in the mornings and not knowing exactly what to do to get to the next level. Again, you can have a brand new business, you can be in business for a while, and you're just looking to get to the next level. And you're gonna be able to wake up and know, this is exactly what I need to do. And then you're gonna realize, like, wait a minute, once these things are done, I get to have free time. I get to see the money come in, and you're gonna stop overcomplicating business. You're going to stop, choosing all these things that don't align with where you want to go. Your priorities are going to be set. You're going to have these concrete boundaries that are going to be healthy for you and everyone in your life. Your relationships are going to thrive. You're going to boost your confidence. You're going to be so clear on your marketing message that it naturally sells for you. And you don't even have to worry. You're not going to be having self-doubt or uncertainty when it comes to sharing about your business, because you're gonna be so damn excited that you want to share it with everyone. I always say that it's kind of like, a newborn baby. You have a newborn baby and you want to take pictures all the time. You want to share, like, oh, do you want to see my kids? Like, you are so proud of this business because you're so clear on the transformation that it promises. You're so clear on the impact that it can have on the people that you're going to sell to, your audience, your potential clients, all the people, and then the ripple effect that your business can have. Now, before you say, well, I sell makeup, or, I don't know how my business has an impact. Maybe, oh, like one of my friends, Michelle Serta, she may be thinking, I don't know if she does, because she's awesome. She's a very confident. She knows her stuff, right? She knows how great her salsa is. But, maybe there was a version of her that was like, I don't know how my salsa can make an impact on someone's life. Well, if you're inside the Boost Your Business Bootcamp, then you probably heard my voice memo when I said that when people buy something, if we go big picture, it's either to improve their health, improve their wealth, or improve their relationships, right? And so for her, she could see this as, me having this yummy salsa that makes dinner easy. It enables me to create memories with my family. It helps me, maybe it helps people save time, and people say time is money, right? There's so many different ways to be able to look at the impact that your business can make no matter what you sell. So that is something that's available to you if you like to join. It's a free group VIP day where we put everything together that we are discussing inside the Boost Your Biz Bootcamp. And so by the end of it, you're going to be, you're going to nail your marketing message. You're going to know my repurposing content strategy, so you're spending less time all over the place in all these platforms, and you're creating one piece of content that you could push out into multiple platforms. And then I'm going to show you some of the resources that I like to use to automate sales, to have multiple streams of income without doing a lot of extra work, and just how all of the things tie together. So that is a deep dive that we're going to be doing inside the group VIP day, which I will link it for you. Because after you're super clear on, the impact that you're to make, and your marketing message, and the lifestyle you want, and how your business is going to align with that, then it's time to get your message out there. So we'll be covering that inside the Boost Your Biz Bootcamp. All right, I will see you later.